BitFenix has a new case that is an old case with some new features. This is the Nova TG, which stands for Tyrannosaurus Gout. It obviously stands for tempered glass because this case is the Nova with tempered glass and a few other embellishments here and there. We'll cover those right now. So you've got tempered glass, you've got an LED 120 fan in the back, and then we have this elegant mesh strip down the side here. The case is pretty lightweight without the side panel on there. With it on there, it's 5.3 kilograms, which is 744 pounds or whatever. You Americans have no idea what a kilogram is, but sorry, you got to look it up online. It could be anything. The gross weight is 6.53 pounds. Now the size on this is 201 millimeters by 437 millimeters by 465 millimeters. For people in America who don't know what millimeters are, this case is about 4 hours long by 2 hours tall. If you know the Nova case, you may Nova the new case. Let's just cover the differences here. I'm just going to cover everything, so you're going to sit by and watch it. Now, it is a case that is considered a budget case because the price point, $59 at the time of launch. In a couple years, it may be up or down, who knows. But right now, it's 59 bucks. Having that with tempered glass is pretty impressive. So right up here on the top, on the front, we have two USB 3.0 ports. So we've got the power button, mic and headphone, and also have the reset button that's pretty difficult to press. Now on the front, they've kept it somewhat sleek, but they do have a 5 1/4 bay in there for anybody who's still using optical drives, or maybe you can mount something else in there. There's plenty of cool things you can mount. Maybe even a hot swap hard drive bay would be great right there, since we don't have ridiculous amount of options as far as mounting on the inside go. So you can see we have several more bays up here on the top for mounting other things. Then below that we've got 3 of the 2.5 inch and then 3 of the 3.5 inch, but you can get creative with those if you like. Now these are riveted in. So when you have a case that's in a budget price point, there's usually some sacrifices that must be made, and we'll see that one of these things is that it's not incredibly modular. These things are riveted in there, so you probably be able to take them out if you wanted to, but it's going to be more difficult than it's worth for a lot of people out there. So down on the bottom here, we've got some mesh there, and there's a dust cover on the bottom right below where your power supply is going to go, and you have some little rubber feet there to keep the power supply elevated from the bottom to reduce vibration and just improve. It's going to improve that airflow. Look up the word improve. If it's not a word, we're going to make it a word. All right. Improve is to raise and improve at the same time. So it's improving. So as far as the power supplies go, you can use up to 180 millimeter power supply. Let's cover all the sizes right now. CPU cooler, you can use a max of 160 millimeter CPU cooler, and graphics cards, you can fit a 280 millimeter graphics card right in there. So most of the graphics cards in the market are going to fit. Now we have a couple of 120 spots in the front right here, and you don't put radiators in the front. There's not enough room. You put your intake fans right there, let it flow through the back. Up on top here, there's no room for mounting either. It's a decently small mid-tower case, but it does take ATX, so you get full ATX support in here. On the back, if you want to mount a radiator, that's where it's going to go. It's going to need to be a 120 millimeter radiator. Right now, they've pre-installed one of their LED fans back there. Now, one of the things I really like about this case is that it has this huge cutout. Hey guys, and that's going to make installing aftermarket heat sinks and that sort of thing really freaking easy. Over here you got a few cable routing options. We got sort of a channel here where you can do some routing, spots to tie down cables. I do have one gripe back here. The cabling on this side is going to be a little rough because there's no real lip to tuck things away down here. To make up for that, we have a side panel, and it is bowed quite a bit. They've stamped out a nice shape here on the side. So most of your cables are going to fit inside here and not down there on the side of the case. So it's not going to be quite as neat as I like it, but to be honest, as far as cable management goes behind the motherboard, I kind of just cram it in there, get it all set up, and then just smash the side panel on there and hope I didn't break anything. I like to change hardware quite frequently, and it gets very tiresome when you have to cut 1,000 cable ties. There's not a lot of room to hide all of your cables. You're going to see the cables down here where the power supply is on the bottom. That's just what's going to happen. If you guys wonder what's going on with this, it's the desk is a little crooked. So yeah, not a lot of room to hide power, cables, power supply. You're going to see that down here on the bottom. You can tuck them away through some of these holes here. I got several holes cut out. At a budget tier, you're not going to see like all the grommets and everything, but it should be pretty easy for cable routing, not so much for hiding all your cables. So that's the sort of give and take. But really, in the budget line, this is just a decent case that has an elevated aesthetic over most of the cases in this price range with the tempered glass. So that's really the main selling point here is the price and the tempered glass. The rest of it's pretty standard. Should be pretty easy to build in. We might do a build in this one pretty soon. But really it's just budget with nice aesthetics, in my opinion. So if you guys have any questions on this, go ahead and check us out over on the forum. And you can ask us anything you like at inbox@teksyndicate.com. If it's something specific about hardware, about this case, throw it on the comments over there. We can all jump in and talk about it. Also, be sure to grab one of our shirts. We've got some hardware coming for you guys very soon as well, so keep checking epicpants.com. Any day now there'll be some cool things on there. All right, that's pretty much it. See you guys on the internet, all the social media things. And thanks very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys are keeping us alive. See you guys in the comments.